Hi, my name is Ilene Rein. I'm an executive recruiter and a job search strategist. I am here today with Greta Zutz. We are talking about things that are incredibly important for career professionals as they're looking to switch jobs, or maybe they fell into a layoff situation or they left their job for one reason or another. And we're addressing it from the insurance and the financial standpoint. So, Greta, please introduce yourself.
I'm Greta Zutz. I think I'm the only Greta Zutz in the world, but now that the Barbie movie came out, my name has become more popular. Also, when I meet younger generation, they're very impressed. My name is Greta, thanks to that other Greta. So let's put me not even third on the list of important Gretas, but at least my name is becoming more popular now. But you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm the only Greta Zutz there. I'm also with Center for Wealth Preservation. We are a firm that helps people with their financial planning on all levels. This subject is extremely important and near and dear to my heart because I was one of these people 13 years ago at my corporate job, looking to do something different, looking to get into the industry that I'm in now. But I couldn't make that switch, Ilene, until I worked with a planner who helped me understand my benefits. And if you've seen our other videos, you'll understand what's important to know about your health insurance, your supplementary benefits such as disability, life insurance, maybe even long-term care insurance. We haven't really talked about that one yet. Future video. And tax implications, future video, your retirement account. So I lived this. And to have someone advocating for me, giving me all the inside knowledge who worked for me was a life-changing event. So life-changing that I came into this industry 13 years ago. And when we talked about savings and budget, she worked with me 8 months before I left that job to make sure I had my savings goal, my emergency fund. I vividly remember calling that planner every week towards the end of leaving that job and say, "Can I leave now?" She's like, "You're not at your number." So I'm not suggesting that, you do torture yourself for 8 months if you're unhappy. Work with Ilene, of course, to find that dream job. But for me personally, it's a vivid memory of getting to the correct amount for savings and emergency. And I'm actually going to categorize those as two different things, because it really will give you the ability to find the perfect job, not deal with that stress, and maybe, make yourself uncomfortable or sick or stressed or lose sleep while you're going through this changing period, and be able to hold out for the right position. Very important.
Yeah, this is extremely important because there are many people out there who are living paycheck to paycheck, or they have student debt, or just the mortgage, or even just paying the rent and getting food on the table. And the fear from switching jobs sometimes, even though the job might be a better job, a higher paying job, is sometimes it's the last one on is the first one off, especially as we're seeing a lot of layoffs happening. So you need to really protect yourself. So, what do you recommend in terms of how much savings should you have before making that jump?
Such a great question, Ilene, because I find when I work with clients that they usually ask me that, of course. And when I ask them, "Well, what do you think?" It's always this sort of blanketed answer. It doesn't matter if that person was the head of a company, the CMO of a company, or that was just their first job right out of school. Everyone kind of has this natural reaction of looking at everyone else or looking it up online. And it is such an individual thing. So, what do I mean by that? If it's you, if you're head of household, if you're single income, you might feel very differently about the amount that you need in savings. We're going to define savings as where you put your money so that it's liquid, you can access it, and it's not at risk. You could get it in 24 to 48 hours. You could pay a bill with it. Maybe you had to transfer from account A to account B, but that idea that where it's held is accessible to you. You don't have to go through channels or fill out a ton of forms, as easy as a phone call. That's what, when we say savings, we want to make sure we clarify that you might not be getting a large return on that money, but it's available to you. You don't have to, fill out a form and maybe grab it from a held up account or sell a stock or reach into your retirement, pay a fee or a penalty. So a savings, most likely that's going to be checking account, savings account, money market account. Some people might say a CD is a savings vehicle, but a CD, again, doesn't fit our definition of liquid to you, accessible to you, unless you're at the end of that term of that CD. So savings is really your amount probably held in a bank or a money market. And as financial advisors, we do have this capability to do this for our clients, to hold a savings account for those rainy days, so to speak, not necessarily your emergency fund, but your savings account. How much depends on you. Really take a look, your fixed expenses, your variable expenses. Is there something coming up annually that costs money that you didn't figure into your monthly kind of monetary baseline plan? Is something really important to you, like an upcoming trip or family vacation, that you're not willing to budge on? So factoring that in, not just saying, rent and utilities or mortgage and car payment, really what it takes to be you for a period of time is your savings number. Period of time, as short as 2 to 3 months, as long as a year for some people. That doesn't mean that you have to have hundreds of thousands of dollars in your bank account. That could be risky as well. Wire fraud is very real. And FDIC insured up to $250 doesn't mean that that protects you from wire fraud. But having accessibility to savings to get you through a minimum of 2 months, a maximum of a year. That's a pretty wide range, but that's where you want to work with an individual planner who isn't tied to your work, or someone that you trust that's just saying, hey, I saved 6 months, you should do the same. Because if you have a baby on the way, if you've just purchased a house, if your spouse is changing careers as well, if you're thinking about moving, if there's certain factors of things coming in, that's where we might look at a longer extension period to a savings amount. And I actually consider an emergency fund a different account. Not necessarily that you have to be opening tons of different accounts, but emergency might be just another extra bucket of money. Again, work with an individual planner like myself who can say, this is what's accessible for you. Now that's emergency fund. True emergency might happen. I got to put new tires on the car, but I might have enough leeway time to transfer from that emergency fund over into my savings. Maybe I can take the 5 or 7 day window, and it's not about, emergency as far as paying my bills to stay in my apartment or house, but that emergency might be just a separate little cushion of money for that rainy day.
And this is why it's so important. Yeah, no, that's incredible information. And that's why it's important to reach out to someone like you who can walk you through that process, because it is different for everyone. And not everyone has a financial background like you, okay, who understands the intricacies that are involved. So if you're not in that financial industry, and even if you are, it's really hard to do things for yourself. It's hard to be subjective, okay, based on, you can't see the forest through the trees sometimes. So it's nice to have someone who has that expertise that can take a look at your individual situation. I know that sometimes people will get laid off and they could be looking a year and a half for a job. Okay, then they come to me and I get them hired on average 42 days. Go check out my program. It's at poundingpavement101.com. But it still takes time. And even the hiring processes are slowing down right now, is what I'm seeing. Because first they have you interview with the recruiter, then you're interviewing with the hiring manager, then you're meeting the entire team. My technical people then go through technical tests on top of that. You're speaking to a senior executive, and then you first come down. Now you're first going through salary negotiation, and that can take 2 months, sometimes 3 months in itself. So you really need to be covered and know your numbers and know your expenses. So this way you are okay financially as you're going through this process.
It's so true. To find when they work with you and they can take that dream job, Ilene, hold out for that offer that they want, and really be in that next position that is where they're going to stay for a much longer period of time or come to you again. But I've seen it in the past with clients that came to us after they've dealt with something and didn't get to work with someone like you, and the stress that it puts on you, not only financial stress, but just mental and emotional stress on your family, not have things covered. Because what happens then is where we shouldn't go. We tap into retirement accounts, we run up credit card, we get ourselves in such a situation that maybe we can't even see how to negotiate or how to take that next position, or how to maybe, even hold out a little bit longer for that perfect fit for your career, because you are maybe operating from a place of like, I need that paycheck. So while you're employed, it's never too early to talk about the actual number that works for you in savings and the actual number that works for you in emergency. Where those accounts are held, you want to work with a planner and say, what are my options? Maybe I can take that CD option, or different. I'm not going to get into product per se, but maybe there are other places to park emergency money where you can get a little return, have not necessarily risk, because we don't want to lose that money, but have it be something that is there for you as a true cushion in case of. That's a really good way to plan. What I find often is people just pick a number. We use our checking account as a goal. Oh, it got to this number. Take a screenshot. I never saw this number. I want to keep it there. And that really is an emotional way of planning. That's not really a way of planning, saying, okay, that would cover me for 2 months or 3 months, or I know this is coming in every 2 weeks, or maybe, like you said, that new job has a whole different pay cycle. Maybe they don't do 26 pay periods. Maybe they do 23 for some reason. Maybe they do a whole different cycle of paying you. And that month or two of waiting, or 3 months, if you don't have that emergency fund and also your savings, could be really catastrophic. And why enter into that new job that you've worked so hard for, that you've worked so hard with them for, to then have stress that you don't need to have?
Well, and it sounds just like a business owner needs an exit strategy. A career professional working for someone else at a job, they need that exit strategy, and they need to do that planning ahead of time. Okay. Call it, I guess, kind of like a prenup. Okay. Or a contract. You always make the contract when everyone is getting along. So this way there's no stress. You plan it out. So this way, God forbid, you lose your job, something happens, you have that emergency fund, and you're covered. Greta, this is absolutely phenomenal information. I hope everyone is enjoying this series that we're discussing all of the issues that aren't really addressed with career professionals. And we've been talking about health insurance, life and disability insurance, and what do you do with all of this if all of a sudden you're switching jobs, or you are all of a sudden finding yourself unemployed. 401k, what do you do with that? So today we were talking about emergency funds. We're going to talk about tax implications. I think everyone's going to be interested in that, to save a little bit of money. So I want to remind everyone, please subscribe, so this way you get alerts every time we post new content like this to help you in your professional career journey. My name is Ilene Rein. I'm an executive recruiter and a job search strategist with Pounding Pavement 101. We'll see you in the next video.